Hey, I'm Eugene Cordero, and you are listening to the SyFy Sistas podcast.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the SyFy Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper. I'm joined today by my sisters, Sabrina Wood,
Whoop, whoop.
Yvette Blackman-Tom,
Hello.
and Fran T.
What's happening, guys? How you doing?
What's happening, sister woman? What's happening is that on this particular show, we have a man as our guest that we all love. We adore him to pieces. And first of all, like for me, if you're like me and you like funny things, you've seen this man. He's been in everything that I love. Like, I mean, like lots of shows. I didn't know how many shows that you had been in that I love until I went back and started researching and started looking at you. I was like, God damn, that's him. So Drunk History, Kroll Show, Silicon Valley, The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Bajillion Dollar Properties, Veep, The Good Place. Oh my God, as Pillboy, that was my shit. That was my shit. Most recent, and Tacoma FD. I love that show. That show had me literally peeing in my pants. Most recently, The Man on the Inside. If you're a genre fan, you saw him in The Mandalorian. You've seen him in Loki. And to us, he's none other than Samantha Rutherford. He is Eugene. He's Eugene Cordero. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Yay!
wow. What an intro. Thank you very much. There's nothing I like more than hearing that somebody peed. That's the highest compliment, I think.
It is the highest compliment.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
True story.
I know you enjoy my work, but have you peed? Because there's people who've peed. Anyways, yeah.
That ought to be the standard from here
That
on
should
out.
be. It really be.
Next time you go on the cruise, like, oh yeah, you love me? Did you pee though?
Did you pee?
Did I make you pee?
Well, I don't think I could say that because then we're stuck for like 6 more days where that became a challenge. And that's the last thing that, I don't need challenges.
Right. That's all you need.
Not on that cruise.
Right.
No. No. We met you for the first time on the cruise, and we felt like you're super personable with everybody that you meet. You're so sweet and you're really generous to people, but we felt like it was a connection.
Oh, when I saw you, I sat down. I was like, it's time for me to sit down. Oh, we need to talk. We need to just check in. It also helped because, Tawny was like, oh, those are, my friends. And I was like, great. If your friends are here, then I'm going to feel comfortable here. And, and I did. So that helps.
It was awesome. I felt like I had met my long lost Filipino cousin.
Yeah.
And, and I got to tell you all about my Filipino heritage that I know very little about, But I mean, it's pretty cool. I kind of always feel some type of connection with other Filipino people just because my grandfather was Filipino.
Yeah.
But I have almost zero connection to the culture, though.
Sure.
Because he died before I was born. And, his name was Joe Mercado.
Okay.
So that's like Joe Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was from fucking Manila.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's everybody names themselves that when they move to the States. So
yeah.
Joe. Oh yeah, I'm Joseph. Yeah.
How proud is your mother of you about being a comic?
Oh, not proud.
No.
Not proud that I'm in this business initially. I mean, it's just such a tough thing.
Yeah.
They immigrated from the Philippines, and they wanted us to assimilate to the life that was here so that we could have a better life for ourselves. So, my sister became a lawyer. So she did it. They're always proud of her. And then I chose, a profession that's impossible for anybody. So,
Right.
they were just nervous. I think they were just having
Yeah.
a hard time with it. But as things started happening, they saw that I don't really get too passionate about that many things. I'm pretty laid back about a lot of things, but when I'm focused on the things that I am focused on, they can see that I have the spark about it. So I wasn't going to stop working at this until I got some stuff done. So, yeah.
Cool.
That is so cool.
I'm glad
I
to hear
mean,
that.
they got to be proud now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I like I said, I didn't realize how many times I had seen your face, in stuff that you had done until until you got on Star Trek and, I really started paying attention to who you are, because I'm a Trekkie and that's how we do. We roll.
Yeah.
We know people and then they get on our thing and we're like,
Right.
oh, well, let me learn everything about you.
Yeah, and it was interesting, especially when I started doing more of the conventions and I came on the cruise. The first time I came on the cruise was the big. I had never heard so many people be like, "Oh, yeah, I didn't connect the fact that you are an actor."
Right.
Also, because I just think that you're the voice of this character. I think you're a voiceover guy, or mainly. So I think people were surprised that I was that because that's the way that they knew me initially, which is great. That they had just assumed that's kind of the lane that I'm in, and which is fine.
Yep.
So pleasantly surprised, I hope, for a number of people, but maybe disappointed in others. But hey, I can't control that.
I'm delighted that it's not your only lane. I mean, like in the intro, I didn't even get a chance to talk about. I was running out of breath. I'd like, to talk about like the movie work that you've done and the voiceover work that you've done. I mean, like you've done one of my favorite shows, Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
I love that show. And Solar Opposites, right?
Yes.
And was it Steven's World?
I did Steven Universe. Yep.
Steven
was like
Universe,
one of the first things that I did voiceover wise, and then and then I got really lucky to be part of all of the Bob's Burgers, Great North, Central Park, like all of those cartoons that Lauren did, Bouchard did, and very lucky. I feel lucky to be surrounded by such talented people all the time. So
I was just saying that when I saw you on Low Key, I was like, wait, that voice.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, let's roll this back. I'm like, I know that voice from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I said, wait, I've seen this guy like everywhere. Is that the same guy? So I think that's what a lot of people actually did also, is like, wait a minute. I know that voice. And then like you see your face like, well, this guy's in everything. So
that's cool.
I love that. And I was like, yeah, he's a working man. Out there working.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the dream. The dream is to be one of those, journeyman actors, the one that you just kind of see pop up in everything and get to try a bunch of different things. And, and that's what I hope will continue happening for me.
Were you bit by the bug really young?
I was, I think elementary school and stuff, I would get in trouble for talking. I wasn't a class clown necessarily, but I was a very social child. My
That's a way to
parents
put it.
Yeah, my parents would get, my like parent teachers conferences. They would have to sit there, and the teacher would be like, "Yeah, well, he talks a lot during class, and but it's not to the other students. He comes to my desk and just wants to know what's going on." And have like a little dialogue with me, and I think that doesn't help the class, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of that, like just a lot of like checking in with people, just kind of talking, and focused on that kind of stuff. And I think I got more into it once I got further into school, and then once I got into high school, I started doing a bunch of plays and doing a bunch of theater, and really focused on theater a lot, and went to college to do the same, and went to school for acting, and then got bit a little bit by like the comedy, like the improv comedy, sketch comedy bug once I was in college. But
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about because that's a real talent that a lot of people don't have, and you seem so comfortable on stage when you're doing that. And I said, I could just imagine those parent-teacher conversations.
Oh,
You were
yeah.
improvising with the teacher from the get-go. So,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was a very much a personality kid because I wasn't a big sports guy growing up, and I wasn't really into everything everybody else was into. So I think I really pushed the charisma game hard, So then I think that was a lot of it. So then once I got, into the improv and the sketch side of it, that's so much more about connections and like checking in and listening. Than any other comedic form. Like I'm not a stand-up. I consider myself comedic. I don't know if I'd call myself a comedian, but I would say that I'm pretty comedic when it comes to the arts and everything. But I think stand-up is just such a different machine that's amazing, but just not a field I feel like I do correctly.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I get that totally.
Yeah. But yes. Yeah. I'm also
timing.
I'm just also not good at writing a bunch of stuff and then, committing to it for a
Same.
while.
Yeah, having an act, getting your act together.
Yeah.
No.
I'm always in awe when I see people who were really good at improv do improv because my brain, I feel like it makes my brain you make me feel like my brain is on molasses. Like improv is like you got to be sharp, you got to be with it, you got to be like right there, and that brain is firing like on all cylinders, and in the audience you're just like trying to keep up, sometimes,
Sure.
and I mean it's a skill for sure. It's like people who good rappers.
Yes.
Who can freestyle, it's like the same, using those same muscles.
Yeah. It's just like staying excited about, I don't know, staying on a path of something that sems fun. And I think that's, especially when Tawny and I do shows,
Yeah.
we're just having so much fun that it doesn't matter what happens.
When y'all did the improv on the ship about the all white town.
Oh my
Lady
gosh.
My God.
Gave you that info. So it's not like you all made it up. I mean, you did make it up, but she gave you that,
Absolutely.
I thought I was going to pee. I really,
Yeah.
It's crazy. She gave them a gold mine and they got it.
I mean, it was surprising to me the person that we were talking to felt comfortable even telling us that with just two people of color on stage.
Right,
it's like,
right.
There's nobody else here. So I don't know why this is a fact that you want to give to us, but I don't think it ever left Tawny or my brain. So I
your
think
two
I was
faces when she said
Oh
it.
my
I mean,
gosh.
that was it. We were like, we get the popcorn. We just all sat there like, here we go.
No shit.
Buckle in.
No shit.
It was so fun to just do that laundry list of things that we hate.
I mean, I was dying. We were all sitting there like, this shit. Can you believe? I said, this is a goddamn masterclass right now. Like that we're watching. It was brilliant.
Oh man.
Kissing the dog on the mouth. Oh my God.
Oh my
It almost
gosh.
slid out of my chair.
Just the thought of that.
But I mean, the visual popped up. You said kissing the dog out your mouth, and I'm like, the visual was right there. I'm like, oh God, I've seen that my whole life.
And it's insane.
Even my dog was pissed off.
So good.
I'll kiss y'all on the mouth.
We don't do that here. This is a black house. We don't do that.
Oh,
Oh,
you know it's good when people remember the improv.
I know. It's very cool to hear that. Yeah, when we were on the cruise this year, before we did that show, people were like, "Oh, last year when you did this and this and this," I'm like, "Wow, okay, that's great." They're like, "Do you remember it?" I'm like, "I don't, but I appreciate that you do." And hopefully you remember some stuff from this one, and
Right.
and luckily I think we had some fun shows here this past year too. So.
And that room was packed. That room was packed.
Well,
They
you
were
guys,
waiting.
the two of you have quickly become everybody's favorite. And I say that respectfully to the people who've been doing the cruise and who've been guests, like, repeatedly, that we know. But the fact is, you're new blood and you're brilliant. And, and I, we talked to Tawny about this too. We watched her win over some of these people. Like the first year, that she was on, I remember there was a bunch of people in MAGA shirts and MAGA hats, and we're like, first of all, how are you a Star Trek fan?
Yeah.
That's just, I don't get that, but, and then there has always been this schism for a while, or this dynamic, not a schism, of, OG Trek and quote unquote new Trek, which is anything after TOS,
Yes.
for some of these people, and, and they're like, and I watch and I've seen, the younger crew of Star Trek coming in and really winning people over, but particularly, with you and Tawny,
Yeah.
I've seen it, and I just think it's really a powerful testament to you guys, because you lead with your hearts. You guys are out there with folks on the cruise. Like, you're not shrinking violets. You're not like, oh, there go the masses, and like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tuck myself away in my room,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, the weird thing is a lot of the mix of the Trek fans and them from TOS on, is like the mix is what has made it what it is. So I'm so curious about it, and I'm so grateful for it. And also, I mean, I've said this in a lot of my when they ask me if I've been a long time Trek fan and all this stuff. It does hit me personally when the original series I used to watch with my dad a lot, because it would be the thing that he would listen to and watch to help him with his English.
Awesome.
He would listen to the way that Shatner spoke and the way that that Spock spoke, and saw how different they were. But also, I mean, it's easy to learn enunciation from Spock, and it's easy to learn how to take your time with Shatner. You know what I mean? Or draw it out, or just kind of have this personality to it.
Right.
And I would hear my dad kind of mumble it back as it was happening, and my mom would do the same with soap operas. So like it was a lot of Star Trek and a lot of All My Children, that
Same.
that I had so much, deep cuts of growing up. And Matlock, I think, was another
Oh my
one.
God, yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always Matlock.
So it was always Matlock. So it was like, but it was that same kind of delivery and way of speaking that they were drawn to. So it locked me into a lot of shows and especially the original series. So then when I meet all of these older generations or people with different views in many ways, if not all
Right.
ways, than myself, it's just still interesting where I'm like, well, but something about this show spoke to you, and it's so cool that like this franchise is just absolutely insane. I mean, the amount of people and how the longevity of it is, like you mentioned, I've been lucky enough to be part of other universes or whatever, but it's not the same. I mean, it's, it hits you in a different way. If you're a Marvel fan, you like comic books.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
If you're a Trek fan, you like human beings. It's like, do you know what I mean?
It's a big difference. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
It's not about like what powers you have. It's about like the power of being a human being. And it's so crazy.
Wow.
That like, how deep that goes for so many different series. And then it's like the best Trek is led by their heart. So it's like the fact that we get to be these lower deckers that have that too, but then also be the human beings that are like, well, hang on a second. I know, sir, you've never seen my show and you're not planning on it. That's totally fine. And thank you for telling me, I guess.
Right.
But I'm still standing behind you, getting a cocktail, and we'll both have a cocktail, and we're both happy that we're on this boat. Right. And then, and then I'll see that person, at our improv show or at our, when Tawny and I did the everybody who had been there for a long time, and we did that kind of show in the
script
afternoon.
reading.
Oh, the script reading as well.
Oh, okay.
But Tawny and I did kind of like this. It was for the people who have done the cruise
Borg?
five years or
the assimilation.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
we did
that's
one
us
of
next
those
year.
meetup things, and we sang some songs and just kind of goofed around, and that same guy was just like, all right, maybe I will watch your show. You seem like a pretty fun guy. I'm like, well, listen, it's canceled, so I'm not getting anything from it.
Right.
So you can live your life. Maybe I'll see you next year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I am the TOS person that had the original animation, right? I did not. I was like fighting it. Remember, I had a version to animation.
Snob. She was a total animation snob.
I had an aversion to animation. And
Sure.
I was just like, I was like, oh, I don't know you guys, and you guys.
Just watch
Right,
it.
they were all getting on me, Eugene. They were getting on me, but I said, okay, finally, but I'm a completist, so I had to watch it because it was Star Trek, and I loved it. I loved it. So you converted me well before you got canceled. Okay, so it didn't get canceled. The show just ended.
The show ended for now, so you never know.
You never know.
That's
you
right.
never know.
You guys brought me around, and I love the show. It was just like I was looking forward to it. So there were some of us that came about, but us old geezers.
But that's also what's been awesome is seeing and hearing that people come around on it. I mean, it was such a big swing to like not only do a half-hour comedy, but for it also to be animated. Like that hasn't happened yet in Trek.
Right.
Animation was tried and failed, and comedy,
in the 73, 70, in the early 70s.
I like TS.
TAS was cool.
I like animation.
Yeah. I did too.
I loved it.
I thought it was cool,
bring it
but
back.
they didn't bring it back.
And to be clear, I didn't see it till I was a SyFy Sistas. So I did not see it until.
Oh, I looked at it. I looked at it back Saturday mornings. I looked at it.
Oh, really?
We were working, Fran. We weren't kids when that game came on.
I still watched it though.
I know.
But I think that the fact that it was bringing animation back, and then also for it to be a comedy, which they haven't really done. I mean, comedic episodes, obviously, but not a full-on comedy series. So big swings. So we knew that we were going to get a little bit of pushback. So we were hoping that we would, win.
I mean, you guys did. You really did. No doubt about it. You were everybody's darlings. And, we still love you, which is like, and I know the chants get old, the lower decks chants, lower decks, but you guys are going to get it the rest of your lives because that show means so much to us.
It doesn't get old.
Oh,
good.
It feels like people just are like on board already, and it just feels nice. I mean, to me, also we spent so much of the time during COVID recording by ourselves in our closets and stuff that, like, you know, we didn't get to experience it as it was happening as much as everybody else. So I feel like we're still kind of backlogged in the love that we're just taking it in as much as we can.
And then you got the strike happened too, so you kind of missed a lot of stuff on that. We have said this more than once, how I think if it wasn't for I say Star Trek, but more specifically Lower Decks during COVID, when they put those seasons back to back, I mean, I think Star Trek saved a lot of people.
It sure did,
especially Lower Deck, especially because it was new, it was funny. We needed funny. We were stuck inside, you know, or if you had to work, you were working under conditions that were not normal. And I always think of Lower Decks in that vein, where it was the one that we, you know, we kind of saved us during COVID, because, you know, you look at these kids now that we call them the COVID babies, and they are not socialized. They have so many issues going on. And I think, you know, I think Star Trek fans kind of came out on top because they had so much to watch. You know, they had their Star Trek, and then they had this new Trek that made us laugh and then made us feel good about the fandom that we loved too.
Yeah.
So I always want to try to tell it to everybody in that cast that just know that
Cast and crew,
that show is dear to our hearts for many reasons, but definitely that one.
Yeah.
Definitely that one. Yeah.
I remember being able to tell that to Brad Winters when we first met him in at Mission Chicago.
Yeah.
And like gushing, like Yvette and I were like, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, okay, we should shut up now. Like, I'm sure you need to go talk. He was like, no.
Yeah, he loves it, man. Yeah. He's the best. He really is great.
Yeah,
he really is. Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Him and
man.
Mike. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. The whole operation. I mean, everybody that we meet, writers, producers, they're all like that. You know, we all have a good time with them.
It's really cool. It really does feel like a little, like we got accepted into the Trek family, like the extended universe of the family. But the little family that Lower Decks is by itself is really tight, which is really great. I mean, even though Jack and I didn't even meet each other until like season 5. But
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we had met over Zoom, but then we've always missed each other. And then it was Tawny's birthday before last year's cruise. So it was before that. She was like, you have to show up to this bar right now. Jack is here. You guys have to meet, and it has to be at my birthday.
Wow.
So then, yeah, we actually did. And, you know, it was like we had been friends forever already. So it was great. It was so awesome. And still the same feeling now. We've seen each other a bunch now. And, you know, it doesn't feel like we only met each other last year, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
That's so
Love
awesome.
that.
All right, so I'm sorry, go ahead, Fran.
One of my great memories is that New York Comic-Con, I met Mike, and they had us at these round tables, and he got to our table last, right? So of course I was like, I just needed a hat and those things and say, I'm Fran Taylor, and I'm with the SyFy Sistas. He lit up. He was like, oh, the SyFy Sistas. My wife loves you. We love you. And I'm sitting there going, oh, they know us. So then he said, my wife says, yeah, but this and that, but what do the SyFy Sistas think? And I said, we love you and your show. He just beamed.
oh, yes.
It was, I can't describe what it was. You know, he took with me and he was just so nice and personable and pleasantly surprising how down to earth he was and that he knew the SyFy Sistas.
Yes. Yeah, you're well known. Y'all are well known, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Don't tell that to Yvette. It's going to go straight to her head.
Yeah. Okay.
We're notorious.
Right.
So here's my question, Eugene, because like you on this cruise, like you outlasted the 20-something-year-olds. Like you have energy for fucking days, man. And then I do this research on you and find, and you're jacked, right? Like I didn't realize how jacked you were until I saw you in person. I was like, that dude, what? Okay. So then I find out that you on all these podcasts, like doing fitness stuff. So this is another passion of yours, is fitness. You want to be my personal trainer? Because I'm looking for one.
I do like it. It's very much it's like therapy for me. It gives me like an hour every day to just kind of turn off and just worry about how I physically feel. And it's just nice. And then I just get to sweat a little bit and just get tired in a different way, not mentally, just physically. And it just it wipes me out in a good way. Like, because you can only control so much, and you can only control certain things physically, but you can only control a lot of things mentally. But we try to put so much mentally on our plates that we can't control, and we try really hard to not do that to ourselves and not worry about what other people think and not worry about this. But that's like a constant struggle. But if you can't lift something, you just can't lift it. It's like and you can eventually if you like take the short, you take the longer road and the smaller, increments higher. And then just kind of doing that, in my own therapy head, I'm like, well, then why am I taking such big swings when it comes to the mental stuff?
Wow.
So it helps me. It also gives me an hour away from my kids every day. Because they're just not big enough to be in there with me. But so it's it's been a lot of it. I think also, as a kid, I was not a physical person, and I think I just found it later in my life, and connected to it later. It was my first D in school was in gym, was in like PE, because I didn't feel like running the mile and I just wanted to talk to my friends.
I'm so there with you.
And the presidential
stuff, and I was like, I'm not doing it.
And the presidential fitness test, I'm like, the president can't even fucking do any of this shit.
Right?
The little president's council certificate you would get.
Name a president other than Obama who can do a pull-up.
Right, thank you.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, and when I was doing those tests, Obama wasn't in there. So I was like, these fools aren't doing a pull-up. These guys can't touch their toes. What am I doing this for? So if I get this test correct, I could be president? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Things were ridiculous.
So I just remember. So I got into it a little bit later, and then just focused in on it, and enjoyed it in that way. But yeah.
You've been on like a gazillion podcasts about it.
Yeah. Well, because there was also a thing where there was a while where, there was a time, and it's not even that long ago, where it's like character actors, comedic actors, just like anytime you're not the main guy, you're not the heartthrob main guy, that they'd always want schlubby. There was like always the schlubby best friend, the schlubby this, and it was just like, why are we doing that to ourselves? We're staying unhealthy to to fit this category that it's just like, no, we could be healthy. So then there was this time, I would say it was like around 2010 or 12, like around then, when like people that were doing comedy weren't afraid to like work out. You know what I mean? But even then, you would still hear it from other people doing improv or sketch that they're like, "Oh, so what? You're the Jack guy now?" It's like, no, I just
Wow.
I just want to be able to live my life, you know? I want us to be able to like change into this chicken outfit, but not be sweating. Because I can't put pants on, you know? Not sweating because we're rushing, but sweating because these pants fit different now because we all went out last night, you know? So then that just has kind of changed the game. And then my energy stays up just because I know, especially on the cruise, it's like that's not my normal life. It's not my everyday. So I'm like taking it in. And I know it's an experience that I want to hold on to and I want to enjoy. And I know that it's a vacation for everybody else. So, who am I to like not partake in the fun?
Right.
Who am I not to be the one that's the only one dancing from any truck show at 5:30 a.m.
30. Exactly. 5:30.
Yeah. Why is that my fault that I'm the one watching them wipe down the pools and going like, you guys need help?
Telling you, we left you at the bar. Like first there was Tawny and Celia and you were up at the bar. And Tawny and Celia were like, okay, good night. We're going. Okay, we're leaving. And I turn around and half an hour later, there are the three of you and you're out on the dance floor, like still like going like an Energizer bunny. And it was like, and then I was there for like another half an hour. It was late. Like this was the last party of the night and you were still going strong. And I was like, dude, I'm tired. I have some Mayan ruins today and shit. I'm tired.
Yeah. I think the first year we did it, I think what we ended up doing was asking Joey to make sure that all of our stuff was after 2 p.m. or something like that. We're like, we'll be out late at night.
Right.
So that we can have fun with because they were like, Joey was telling us like, oh, people love that you guys stay out. We're like, we'd love to stay out, but if we have something at 10 a.m., then, it makes it a little hard for us to enjoy the evenings as much or whatever. So he did an awesome job of scheduling it and letting us, have our fun and giving me enough time to wake up and go to the gym before we figure out what else is going to happen that day. And
cool. It's awesome.
Wasn't that a beautiful gym on that ship?
It is. It's so good. I love it. I also love, well, I don't love it, but I think it's so funny how empty it is.
Yeah.
All the time. No shade on the other Trek cruisers, but
I
take
only know it
advantage.
because of the scavenger hunt. That's the
but
only reason why I know it.
It's busy in the mornings, though.
It is busy in the mornings.
It's busy in the mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
The
Okay.
mornings is really busy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
people-
because
Yeah, people get in early before they have their windjammer, breakfast.
the soft serve.
I'll go before the soft serve for sure. I'll go with you guys and you can show me how to use some of those machines. I don't know how to use a machine in a gym. I haven't been on a machine in a gym since like 1988 probably. Since I was in high school.
I don't even think those machines are even in gyms anymore.
Not because they were torture devices.
Not one of them. It's in there from
I know how to use a
1988.
treadmill.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's
That's
about
still
the
there.
only
Yeah, that's
machine
still
that I
there.
know how to use in a gym.
And they're
still
easy
there.
to fall off of.
But I want to know how to use a machine in a gym. I just don't want to be in a gym around like anybody else.
I hear you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
There's a gym in my apartment building, right? But my apartment building is inhabited by like 20 somethings and 30 somethings with a lot of energy and perfect bodies. And I don't care to be in their presence most of the time. Like not when I'm working out. I'm not going to show them my 54-year-old gut.
Hey.
I'm not. I'm just not. I know it's vain. So that's fine.
Hey, you do you. But at the same time, know that, especially at the gym, everybody's thinking the same thing that you are, even when people are in the best shape of their life. What am I doing in this moment?
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. That they're not really paying attention to anybody until somebody else gets hurt. And then everybody's like, oh, no, what happened? I was not paying attention to you.
Right. Most people go to the gym, they got their earphones on.
Yeah.
They're just not paying attention to
Or
anything.
Hey,
they're
I'm gonna
making
wipe
their
that
content.
machine down after reps of 10 pounds like anybody else.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Right?
All right,
Exactly.
Sabrina, you're gonna come over and do the gym stuff with me, okay?
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna after that 8 reps of 10, we're just gonna wipe it
She
down like
said,
we were
yeah,
there.
yeah.
She did. It was
I
real
did.
convincing. Real
I did.
I
convincing.
know.
Oh, I used to date a bodybuilder. You don't know how many gyms I've been. Oh, just I was a gym rat. Oh my God, it was horrible. Anyway, you want
Oh,
to
I
talk
want to
about
hear
being
that
around
story.
people that
Yes.
have
Oh my God.
bodies. Like,
Mhm.
oh my, yeah, he was like a, in the show guy, like,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
oil
yeah.
and everything. And I'm
The
like dating
oil and
him
everything.
Oh my
Oil
God.
and
all of his
everything.
friends. It
Eugene,
was
all of
just,
a sudden we can't
oof.
hear you very well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the oil and everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Oh
Do I need to?
boy.
That's a song title.
Yeah.
That's a podcast title.
Yeah, the oil and everything.
Everything.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Mhm.
I was I know we've talked a lot about like the cruise stuff because that was just a lot of fun, but um do you okay, let me ask you this. Let me approach it this way. How much are you able and are you actually interested in bringing Filipino culture into your work? And are you able to do that sometimes?
I'm very actively trying in everything. And luckily, I've had opportunities where it's been a conversation or it's already been in there or they've made it that. You know, uh Rutherford wasn't written as a Filipino initially, and then you know Mike did an amazing thing by giving the backstory of Rutherford to be Filipino in a very slick way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the Reflections episode, where I am battling the younger version of myself. The name of the ship is the flower of the Philippines. So it's awesome. And those little nods, help you feel seen. And
Mhm.
I was in Joe Coy's Easter Sunday movie, which
Mhm.
was the first Filipino American like comedy in
So
theaters.
good. That was so good.
Oh, it was
It's
good.
very funny.
And that kind of vibe, and to be part of that, even Pillboy,
Mhm.
um, Mike Schur, who created that, and wrote on The Office and created Parks and Rec and created Man on the Inside, is like he just wants the best people to do things. He tries to cast who he can, and and Pillboy um, and Jason Mendoza, those two characters, they're best friends, happen to be Filipino, and we don't talk about being Filipino. We're just two Filipino best friends,
Mm-hmm.
and that's amazing. And now on Man on the Inside, I'm a Filipino dad, and they cast half Filipino kids, and that's just what is awesome. And
Yeah.
that didn't happen for too long,
No.
and was actually a big um, it was a big issue for me casting wise early on to get any work because I didn't look Asian enough to be Asian, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
Spanish, but even though I have a Spanish last name, um, I it just I couldn't fit in a box that they wanted, that casting needed me to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And even personality wise, I just didn't fit in this box that people were ready to cast. So um, it did have to be similar to the gym analogy, where it was like I was just taking small increments, getting these little parts, and every little part that I got, I just tried to crush it. Just tried my best to be not only have the best performance, but also the best attitude so that people wanted to work with me again.
Mm-hmm.
And as that was happening, and as I was coming up in my career, you know, those boxes that they needed me in started disappearing, and the world started changing a little bit better, where people were ready to see more diversity, you know, in things. I mean, for a while, it was like any commercial I was going out for, when I was auditioning for commercials, when I was still in New York and doing improv. It was like every improviser was doing these all these commercial auditions for like Bud Light and blah, blah, blah. And it was always like, you know, the two leads are going to be two white guys. Or, you know, if it was a beer that was for everyone, it would be a white guy and a black guy. But the third guy, if it was a white guy and a black guy, the third guy would have to be white again.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would go with Spanish or Asian, and then the fifth guy would be other. You know, or if it was two white guys, then the third guy would be black. Then the fourth guy could be just kind of weird white, like a white guy with a flannel shirt or glasses.
Okay,
that's weird. That's weird white, nerd white.
Nerd white. Okay,
quirky.
Quirky nerd white. His hair was just a little bit longer than normal, or whatever. And then fifth guy would be other. So I got really used to auditioning and booking the guy who walks in at the end of the commercial to hold the beer like this, so you can still see the name of the beer. You know, you hold it like this, and you goes, I got another 6-pack, and then you know, commercial's over. You're just used to being that person, and then it just luckily started changing, leaving that world, and you know, people starting to have me play parts that had more to them and gave me opportunities to be more fun or funny or good or different. And then I just tried to make way of that and owning my heritage. I'm very proud of being Filipino, and I show it on literally my tattoos, but also in the way that I show up to events. I wear a lot of traditional Filipino clothing to events, and to premieres and stuff. And I like the nod, you know, it makes me to go back to the beginning, like just, you know, give props to my folks for coming over, and give props to the people that were already here and who are here and who are unseen. And, you know, it's just good that like there are medical shows going on right now that there's Filipino nurses. I mean, it took too long.
Right? Come on.
So, you know,
let's be realistic.
Right.
So there's that. So I'm just happy that world has changed to just be normal, where it's just like, yeah, a slew of these should be all Filipino.
Right.
Either Filipino or from the Caribbean.
No?
Yeah.
I mean, if they ever make a cruise show, it's going to be all Filipinos too.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
We had that conversation on the cruise, and I started in the first cruise you came on, that whole crew, practically like 90% of that crew was Filipino.
Oh, man.
And the next cruise, the last year, that was a more diverse
I know.
crew.
Which was great, but I didn't get as many perks.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of perks. What am I saying? I had a lot of perks anyway, but when I showed up on that first cruise, it happened on this one too. Tawny witnessed it. There was like some real, remember in Coming to America where the couple of guys from Zamunda were in Queens?
Yeah.
And they were just walking down the street and they were like, oh my God, at the baseball game.
Yeah.
And they freaked out. So that happened on the cruise like 3 times.
Wow.
Because it's like these Filipinos who are, and they say it, oh, we're not allowed to, you know, bother you, blah, blah, blah. But oh my goodness, can I take a picture? I'm like, yes, of course. They're like, we're not supposed to. I'm like, I don't care. Like, do it. Like, you're working. And then they came backstage to Tawny and I's improv show. In between both shows, that same guy came backstage. He goes, boss. I go, yeah. He goes, can I just have one more picture with you back here? And I go, oh yeah, sure. So then I go back to past the backstage that we were already sitting, and there was 17 of them back there. And they were just like, oh, like send this to my aunt, send this to say hi to this. And I was like, of course. Yeah, this is amazing.
That is awesome.
But it's that feeling that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's why it matters,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that the people that have been on these boats for 9 months at a time, making sure that everybody stays happy, can have a moment to themselves to be happy. Like, I'm lucky that I get to give you some positive.
But I mean, that is like, it's one of the reasons why we love doing this show, why we started, is because we know how the representation that we see on screen matters, or in books, or, in any medium, and we know the impact that it's had on us. It started with Nichelle Nichols for us.
Of course.
And, and it's another reason why we love you so hard too, because like you're true to that. You're true to who you are, true to your roots, and you're true to your people,
Yeah.
I feel like Filipinos are like Black Asians anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He said absolutely.
Absolutely.
Y'all dance
Absolutely.
like us. You sing like us.
Yeah,
Did you see the
Talk
dude on
like us.
Did you see the dude on The Voice? Like, was it The Voice a couple of seasons ago?
The dude on The Voice, try every Filipino that's been on The
right?
Voice.
Like, I know, right?
That's like,
he was good as shit too.
oh man. Oh yeah. Crushing. I mean,
Yeah.
You sing also, don't you?
well, I'm Filipino, so,
So, yes.
like,
So that's
I
a
have
yes.
to. Yeah.
Karaoke.
I have a karaoke machine. Like, I think it was in the womb with me. I think I had to know like Careless Whisper like the minute I came
Wow.
up.
Right there. Is that your go-to?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a go-to. I think it's just karaoke in general. It was like it's a very Filipino thing. But we are I feel like there's just a connection in a way. I mean, especially for me growing up, that there was just a comfortability in the communities that Filipino and the Black community they just coexisted. So like there was no, like, amongst the other Asian communities, there was a different kind of mentality than that Filipinos just didn't have.
Yep. We're all nodding.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the Filipinos had the no. This is for us all to share. Like, if we're having a party, you're having a party.
Yeah.
And that is something that is shared amongst our communities, that brought our communities together and gives the nod immediately.
Right.
Yes.
and that's what it feels like. So
all coming to the cookout.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't have to worry
And
about
cooking.
it.
Yeah, and cooking.
Right. Like, and the
right.
aunts, all the aunts are all in the kitchen together.
All in the kitchen together.
That's it.
Nobody's really sharing all of the recipes because
No,
they want
no.
they want you to come back. Yeah.
My grandfather was the cook when he was home, but he was a merchant seaman.
Oh.
And so he was out at sea most of the time. But I mean, that's basically how, like, he hid. There was during one of the many turns of political power over there, and his family was killed and like executed on the beach, and he was hiding, and they didn't find him, and he's stowed away on a ship. I swear to God, if I see this movie come out, I'm gonna be pissed, y'all. It's my grandfather's story. I own the rights. Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna play your grandpa, by the way.
Yes, you are. You're gonna play Joe Mercado.
Yeah.
And he's gonna meet the Native American woman named Mamie. And
Okay.
and it's going to be a thing. And
Love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's stowed away on the ship. They found him. They taught him to cook, and he became a merchant seaman. And then I believe it was in World War II, the ship that he was serving on was sunk, and he survived, him and the dog out in the raft.
Mm.
And
Wow.
yeah, like he and the dog survived in a raft and were picked up by another ship, and kept on trucking. My grandmother found out about it when they used to go to the movies. They had newsreels that would play, and
Yeah.
they had messages from the servicemen and people to send back home. And he was on a newsreel saying, "Tell my wife Mamie that I'm alive and I'm okay and I love her and I'm
Wow.
coming home."
Wow.
Yeah, and
We got to
Wow.
find that newsreel.
I
Yeah,
know.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We need to
And
find
I
that.
know that he
I'll look
cooked
for it.
and my mother used to have a pet goat, and he came home and cooked the goat.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, she had no
Yep.
pet go for long.
Yeah. That's a Filipino move if I've ever
That is
heard
straight up. And my mother was straight up.
one.
I live in
Yeah.
I live in Norfolk, Virginia, and it's like the largest naval base in the world. So we have a great big, I remember from childhood, we have a great big Filipino
Yeah.
population here. Big, huge, nurses, because at one point the Filipinos and the black guys could only be stewards. They could be in the Navy, but they
Mhm.
could only be stewards.
Sure.
Yeah, and they could, and all that. But it's a big population here.
That's what I'm
Very,
saying.
Mhm.
Filipinos and black folks.
I
Like,
know.
And we're
Mhm.
all of us have ties to the Tidewater, Norfolk area. So we all know a lot of Filipino. I think we all know a lot of Filipino people because
I
I
know.
know I spent my
Mhm.
summers down in Norfolk and
Mhm.
Virginia Beach. So
Yep.
Mhm.
And I
there's a
work with
lot
a
of them
lot
there.
of them in the health
Mhm.
field.
Yeah.
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 So real cool people. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
my ex-husband, I thought he was Filipino. He turned out to be Chinese, but it worked out anyway.
It worked out anyway. It's very funny.
For a while.
Yeah.
He was hanging too well, and that's why he thought
Yeah,
he was Filipino.
as they
So-
say, Will is socially black, so we didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on.
Yeah, sure.
So real quick, because I know that time is getting short, and but I just want to ask you about working on Man on the Inside, because I was so delighted when I saw you. I was like, okay, let me check the show out. Like I liked Ted Danson, but I liked the premise of the show. I thought it was pretty cool, and especially as we're all aging, and it's really looking at finding purpose again at a certain age,
Yeah.
or like not losing purpose, and recovering from grief and loss. I mean, it's a great show. It's a really good show. But what was your experience like working on that? And is there anything that you can tell us? Like, are we getting a season 2? Do we know this yet, or anything?
Yeah. We start shooting season 2 in a few weeks,
Yay!
Yay!
which is very exciting. And it's still following Ted and him being a detective, and it's a really fun season. It has the same kind of heart to it, but is a different mission, so it'll automatically be different. But it's a really amazing show. Ted Danson is absolutely next level. I mean, he's
Yeah.
just an amazing actor. He's a great human being, and and he's really great at the work that he does. And luckily, we got to work together on The Good Place. And
Yes.
luckily, for me, the guy Mike Schur, who created The Good Place and Man on the Inside and Parks and Recreation, I've been lucky enough to be one of the few actors who has been on every single one of his
Wow.
shows.
Wow.
And he's awesome, and he seeks me out, and he includes me, and this was one of those things where I just got a call saying, "Hey, we want you to be the dad of in this. We want you to play this role, and you'll have 3 boys and this whole thing." And then I got the scripts and I got to read them, and it was a different kind of funny, and it was like real funny. It was like moments of laughter and moments of tears, and dealing with a real thing. And it's such a tiptoe, like it's such a tightrope walk of when to be funny and when to be serious, and I think it does it so well. This story in particular definitely hit very close to home for me. When we did the table reads, I was a mess, and when the show came out, it was a bad. I mean, great, but hard. A year, I would say. So it was now 2 years. So yeah, about a year prior to the table read, maybe 8-9 months. My mom passed from Alzheimer's. So it was a very real moment of watching you go to these places where you want to bring your parents. You hope that they'll be safe and you hope they'll be good. And then unfortunately a year prior to that, my dad died during COVID. So they had both passed. So it was just a very intense thing, but it was handled so well that I couldn't not be happy about it and proud of it and lucky to be included. So it definitely meant a lot. It definitely meant a lot. And that's the same with all of the stuff as it all comes back. Like my dad being such a big TOS fan, the fact that I get to talk about whenever anybody asks me how I got started, the fact that I can always bring him up is awesome. And it's just neat. It's just really cool. So I'm happy that this next season's going to be a little bit different, but I love the vibe that the show brings, which is just like, as we age, it's just like just living well, and having moments where you're laughing and having moments where you let the other stuff sink in, but like just truly taking it all in. You try your best, and I'm happy that we're doing more.
I'm glad you are too, because it's a really beautiful show. I mean, and I mean that like in the truest sense of the word beautiful. Like the dynamics that you were talking about, all the places that it takes you emotionally are all there, and the writing is just stellar. I mean, the writing makes me weep alone. It's just so, it's a thing of beauty, and it's cast. The show is cast so well, and I mean, it is just one of the most unique and beautiful things I have watched in a long, long time. I'm a huge fan of this show.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm happy. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice to see you in a role that's not like, yuck, yuck, yuck all the time. Like, it's nice to see the depth and the difference, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love doing any of it and all of it. So I feel I like a different take on anything. So it's fun.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming to share, some of your time with us. We know you got like young kids and, you got a life going on, brother.
They'll keep running around, I hope,
They will.
So, thanks for being our brother, and thanks for sharing time with us. Thanks for all the work you do. We just adore you. Just that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And I love y'all. You know that. At every convention, I run up to you guys before you even realize that I was there.
They're like, oh shit!
I know. Standing behind your table, taking stickers away and shit.
Always. Come whenever you want, they're for you.
Yeah,
dude. So, Yvette, can you let people know where they can send us their thoughts about Eugene and all their gushing praise?
You got it. You can find us at SyFy Sistas.com. That's SyFysistas.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the SyFy Sistas Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram and Threads, sci-fi.sisters. And under the blue skies at SyFy Sistas. For more interviews, the live show, and our infamous Top 10 series, subscribe to our YouTube channel at SyFy Sistas Inc. Become a patron of SyFy Sistas today at patreon.com/SyFy Sistas. The Trek Geeks Network's presenting sponsor is Fansets. Go to fansets.com for pins and memorabilia from all your favorite franchises. Visit fansets.com and use Trek Geeks, all caps, for your exclusive 10% discount. Our friends at Stranger Comics, the best in fantasy comics, invite our listeners to visit strangercomics.com and use SFS to receive an exclusive 10% discount. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And of course, I got to say thank you to the most wonderful associate producers that any girls could ever have. That's Sailor Marge, Stephanie Baker, and Karen Germera. We love you guys so much. Thank you for all the work you do on our behalf. Without you, we would not be possible. And thanks to everybody else for listening. We love you guys. Peace, love, and hair grease, my friends.